Hey guys, it's Quinn, and today we'll be discussing the announcement of the director for Bond 26, Denis Villeneuve. There's two main items I will discuss here in relation to this announcement. First, Denis is objectively extremely competent in terms of handling very large budget blockbuster films. He's experienced. But more significantly, at least from the perspective of Bond specifically, he's experienced in directing franchises. The issue that folks, myself included, had with films such as Quantum of Solace, outside of the fact that the script was a mess, written by Daniel Craig itself, that film sucked, I can go into it forever. But part of the issue was that it did not feel like a Bond film. It felt like a Jason Bourne film. There was no Bond mystique, no real charm, no serious characters or intense villain plot lines. At its core, that's a directional problem. By getting Villeneuve in this film, who has the chops not only to do a big budget film, but also has handled multiple franchises in the form of obviously Dune and Blade Runner, which hinge so much of their appeal based on the characters and the universe in which they take place in, that is a fantastic choice to make sure that the Bond ethos is properly captured. He has experience in doing it in multiple different franchises. This guy will make a Bond film. For better or for worse, that is what it will feel like. It won't feel like an action film or a Jason Bourne film, but a Bond film, and that's a real relief, frankly. The second really exciting part about this news is what it says about Amazon. This demonstrates a few things. First, Amazon will throw big-time money at this. What's good about that is Bond films don't necessarily need big-time budgets. If you think back to the 1960s, granted, a while ago I know, but From Russia with Love, which is probably as universally liked of a Bond film as it gets, that budget was only $2 million. Now, if you look more recently, like a film like Skyfall, that budget was $200 million, a gargantuan amount of money. But if you look at a film like Dune 2, which was obviously directed by Villeneuve, that budget was almost identical to the budget of Skyfall. And what he was able to produce in that film was fantastic from at least a visual standpoint. I have some issues with sort of the pacing of Dune 2, but from a visual perspective, it was incredible. And you know that Amazon is at least going to do that, probably given more given, inflation in terms of movie budgets since that time frame. And by giving the reins to someone like Villeneuve, it obviously demonstrates that Amazon has trusted him to really make this a complete, extravagant blockbuster. But beyond just the money considerations, this shows to me that Amazon is trying to do the franchise correctly in terms of the rollout of the production, not only of this film, but hopefully of future productions as well. I previously discussed how I was worried that Amazon will attempt to squeeze Bond for the dreaded word of content. Villeneuve, to me, isn't that style of director, and I don't think he would have signed on if he wasn't allowed to create a film which he was able to personally direct with care rather than a lot of oversight from Amazon specifically. Because of this, I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic that this is the first step in doing to Bond the exact opposite of what was previously done with Disney and Star Wars, where they squeeze the franchise for all the money they can get out of it. This is all to say that if Amazon keeps up with this sort of level of decision making, really putting a lot of faith, care into their decisions of how they're going to have these films produced, then maybe the franchise may actually be in good hands. So what do you guys think of the selection of the new director for Bond 26? Are you excited about it? Did you not previously enjoy some of his former work, such that you're a little hesitant about where this production may go? Whatever it may be, leave it in the comments section below. And as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.